Ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I am going to be reacting to the NFL 100. Would like to point out before we start the video that this is a pre-record. Today, I'm actually down at Vikings training camp, hopefully recording a fun vlog for you guys to watch on Thursday. So in other words, you know, if Brandon Ayuk indeed does get traded and I'm not talking about it, well, that's why. Couple of plugs before we hop into it. Don't forget to use code WyattzWorld on G Fuel or Prize Picks, where you can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products or get a guaranteed $50 win on your first $5 entry if you use code WyattzWorld during sign up on Prize Picks. But remember to always play responsibly, and let's get into reacting to the NFL 100. So at the very bottom, starting with number 100, we got Zaire Franklin. Bruh. The last 2 years, the man's been top 5 in both solo tackles and total tackles. Like, what do you mean? I think he should definitely be higher than 100. 99, we have Levante David. 98, we have Cam Hayward. I'm not gonna lie, that seems like a bit of a severe drop because he missed some games last year. Like, the guy's still a good player. I understand he ain't gonna be 53, but 98 seems a bit extreme. 97, we got Terry McLaurin. I'm honestly fine with that. Like, the guy's really consistent, but he's also been the same fucking player for like the last 4 years straight. Top 100, that's an honorable thing, so I'd just be happy he made it. 96 is Deion Dawkins. 95 is Julian Love. 94 is Trevor Lawrence, and what shocks me is that he apparently went up 2 spots from his previous year where he was a lot better. But I don't think the placement is that terrible. I would probably have him in the 80s somewhere just because I do think Trevor is a dog. But any Jacksonville fans acting like he should be above 75 or even at 75, that's unrealistic. 93 is Harry the Hitman. I would actually put him in the 80s too. I know he's getting old, but the guy is still gold. 92 is Rodgers. I might sound crazy for this, but I don't think he actually deserves a spot on the 100. He didn't play last year. Like, that seems fucking ridiculous to me. And then at 91, we have Tariq Woolen, who did take a slip. I mean, obviously, he didn't even do comparably close to what he did his rookie year. However, the placement I have no issue with. All right, moving on to 90, we have Devontae Smith. Apparently got a 10-spot increase from last year, so he was at 100. I think he deserves to be like, I don't know, 75 to 70 in that area. I can't wait to see how many blatantly worse receivers they have placed above him. 89 is Budda Baker. I feel like last year he didn't really do shit. 88's Chris Lindstrom. 87's Hassan Reddick taking a huge tumble, 39 spots. Wait, that's actually nuts. Didn't he still have like 11 sacks this year? What the fuck are they doing? 86 is Saquon. He fell down 55 spots. I understand why they dropped him, but again, that just seems a bit drastic, doesn't it? 85 is Tristan Wirfs getting a 13-spot increase, all right. 84 is DK. I'm not mad at the placement. I'm just a little bit stunned that 2 years ago, he apparently wasn't a top 100 player. Like, who the fuck is making these? 83 is Derwin James. He took a tumble 53 spots this year. Was he a lot worse than I thought? I don't think he was that bad. I know he wasn't, you know, the typical Derwin, but he wasn't that bad. Then we got Montez Sweat at an 82. I would probably put him up, honestly. I think he's a little bit better than that. And 81 is Kirk Cousins, who took 39 spots down because he tore his Achilles. That's extremely understandable because last year when he did play, the guy was elite. Moving on to 80, we have Sam Laporta, which I'm sure the Detroit fans think he belongs in the top 10, right? That's a very good number after 1 season in the league. 79, we have Minkah Fitzpatrick. Personally, I don't think anybody who intentionally hurts my Pookie Bear belongs on the top 100, so I think that's incredibly high. 78 is Kyron Williams. I gotta appreciate that. 77 is Trey Hendrickson. That seems too low. He's much better than that. He's a 50-60 guy. 76, we have Dre Greenlaw. Rumor has it they would have actually had him at 75 if he wouldn't have popped his Achilles celebrating in the Super Bowl, but it happened. 75, we have Justin Herbert dropping 43 spots from last year. What do you mean by that? Like, how? He literally was putting up like identical numbers to the previous year before his injury, which came late in the season. I think he only missed like 5 games, right? That quite literally doesn't make any sense. Jesse Bates at a 74. That seems a little bit low. I think he's better than that, but apparently last year wasn't a top 100 guy. My dog Jeffrey Simmons took a tumble down to 73. I'm guessing his injury played a factor in that. Garrett Wilson at 72 out of all players. Like, I can understand that. And then we have Laramie Tunsil at 71, who took a 14 spot increase from the previous season. Interesting. And that's interesting because he played less games this year. Like, I don't know how they're doing this. All right, now on to number 70, Amari Cooper. Absolutely not. And I mean that in a complimentary way. He's better than that. He is much better than that. Disgusting work here. 69 is Cooper Kupp taking a 22 spot fall. I still think that's too high after these last couple of years, to be completely honest. Daniil Hunter at a 68, that's low. He's a top 50 player, I think. Terran Armstead at 67. Ayuk at 66. Might be a little bit low if you're asking me personally. Poyer at a 65, that's respect. Patrick Queen at 64, I think that's fine. Jalen Waddle at a 63, that's probably pretty reasonable. I mean, he dropped 19 spots, but we gotta be honest with ourselves. Was Jalen Waddle this year the same Jalen Waddle we saw last year? Not even close. 62 is Bradley Chubb. That's okay, honestly. I used to be a Bradley Chubb hater, not so much anymore. And then 61, we got Beaks. I like the respect on him. I'm a big Justin Muda Beak fan. That's how you say it, right? That's why I call him Beaks. Criminally underrated player. Extremely underrated. He's like Ed Oliver underrated. Ed Oliver, who I'm sure didn't even make this fucking list. Moving on to number 60 now, we have Raheem Mostert. I think that's respect. You want to be more specific and talk about just how good they were specifically last year? He's probably a lot higher than that, but like, you know, like this, his career-wise, like how he's played out, I think 60 is a really good spot to have him right now. 59 is Bobby Wagner. I'm gonna sound like a fucking hater. I'm not trying to hate. I think Bobby's still an impactful player, but is he really the 59th best player in the league? Like, still? Call me out if I'm in the wrong there, but I just feel like that's too high. 58, you got Christian Wilkins. I'd probably put him up a little bit, to be honest. 57 is Justin Simmons, who's still a free agent, by the way. It doesn't make any sense. That's a good spot for him, too. 56 is Diggs, and he fell 40 spots. And reasonably so. 55 is Brian Burns. I think that's a fair spot. And I'm also pretty sure that he led the team in sacks this year, even though he switched to outside linebacker. 54 is Jonathan Allen. That's fine. 53 is Zach Martin, going up 15 spots. Reading up on how he jumped up 15 spots, it said he had just one total penalty in 2023. 52, we have Pat Surtain, the best cornerback in the league, gets number 52. He actually went down 3 spots. Oh, that's ridiculous. Someone should get fired for that. And then 51, we have Keenan Allen, and I think that was a fair spot to put him. He was great last year, but he also once again got hurt. Moving on to 50, halfway through now, Rashawn Gary. If he's healthy, he's a tremendous player. 49, we have Derrick Henry. I get the drop-off. Seems a bit high, though, for now. He should still be up in the 30s, if you're asking me. 48 is Jared Goff. That's absolutely horrendous. Lion fans, that one you do have every right to piss lava about. Hutch at 47, yeah, that's a little bit more reasonable. 46 is Winfield Jr. That hurts my soul. He should be like -5. 45 is Jamar Chase. These are way off. This page feels low. It feels like they're lowballing everybody. And then 44, we have Demario Davis, which actually, me even being a Saints hater, kind of has to defend that. He's been, for an old man, he's been a really, really good player. Like, he's playing some of the best football of his career now. 43 is Kyle Hamilton. Baltimore, just believe me, they're giving him the young guy treatment. Next year, he's probably going to be top 25. 42 is Stafford. That's honestly okay. And 41 is Lane Johnson. I have nothing to argue against that. And he was actually this close to being an All-Pro again. Moving on to 40, we got Devontae Adams. Okay, I know I've been kind of lowballing him recently on ratings, but that seems just low still. Then again, top 40 out of everybody, that's kind of good. 39 is Burrow. That I do think is catastrophically low. I think he's a top 25 player easily still, even though we missed time last year. 38 is Sauce Gardner. I think that might be a little bit low, but it's still a lot better than Pat Surtain being down at 52. 37 is Quinnen Williams. My Pookie Bear deserves to be up in the top 30. Tua at 36. I mean, it's kind of fair. I mean, he is a good player, just limited, like I say. 35, Josh Hines Allen. I think that's respect, and I think he's about to have a monstrous year. 34 is Jordan Love. That's fine. 33 is Puka Nacua. I'm surprised he's up that high, but well-deserved. 32 is Quincy Williams. He's a great player. He was an All-Pro last year. It just seems crazy that, you know, he's been around for 5 years, wasn't even in the top 100, and now he's at 32. And then at 31 is Darren Bland. I mean, okay, he was really good last year, but again, I'd take Surtain over him, and I'd take Sauce over him. Number 30, we have Debo. Okay, I'd probably put about 6 of the receivers I've seen on here over Debo Samuel, but all right. 29, we have Khalil Mack. That shocks me that he's this high just because he's old, but last year he was so fucking good. Now, out of his 17 sacks, I think 6 of those did come in one game, but the guy still forced like 5 fumbles too. He was a monster. He's never really been bad. Obviously not in his prime anymore, but he's still good. Next up, we have Purdy at 28. Honestly, that's okay. Nick Bosa took a massive tumble, 23 spots. I mean, I understand the droppage, but again, I feel like he's still a better player than 27. Mike Evans at 26. Again, I would probably take a few receivers I've seen on here over Big Mike as much as I love him. Jalen Ramsey at 25. Okay. Number 24, we got Dexter Lawrence. I fuck with that heavy dude. He's arguably the best defensive tackle in the damn game. The guy is so good. 23 is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like that. 22 is Penei Sewell. Okay, I'm just curious as to how he wasn't a top 100 before this year. And 21 is AJ Brown. That's good. 20 is CJ Stroud. I think that's good. It honestly might be just a little bit generous for how ripe he is, but the guy's a baller. 19 is Roquan Smith. He might be a top 15 player, dog. 18 is Jetta. After missing a lot of time last year, I still think that's a good number. It also matches his jersey, so it's destined to be. 17 is Micah Parsons. Again, I feel like he could be a top 15 player, bro. 16 is Dak. I do appreciate the respect there. Again, we're talking out of every player in the league. I mean, they gave him a 40-point increase. 15 is Jalen Hurts. That's egregious. That's too high. I'm sorry. That's too high. I love Jalen. That's too high. Doesn't mean he doesn't deserve a good number either, but I'm talking like top 30, top 25-ish for Jalen Hurts. 14 is George Kittle. I think that's reasonable. 13 is CeeDee Lamb. Think he should probably have a top 10 spot. 12 is Josh Allen. Obviously think he should have a top 10 spot, but I'm not going to act like 12 is an insult. Like 12 is a good number. And 11 is Fred Warner. I love that they did that. That's great. He deserves it too. He's the best linebacker in football. All right, moving on to the top 10. At number 10, we have Mad Max Crosby. I would have figured he got shit on, to be completely honest, so I'm happy. Number 9 is Travis Kelce. Apparently, I'm one of the few that actually still think he's the best tight end in the game. I think that's a good spot. 8 is TJ Watt. Pretty hard to be mad about anybody being in the top 10 who you think deserves to be in the top 10, but why was he down low? Oh, he missed time 2 years ago, didn't he? 7, we got Trent Williams, the brick wall himself. 6, we got Chris Jones, one of the best, one of the most consistent, and one of the most disruptive defensive linemen in the league. 5, we got Myles Garrett, defensive player of the year. I was expecting to see him up here. Then at 4, apparently, we have Patrick Mahomes. Really? 4? I don't know about that, bro. 3 is Christian McCaffrey. That I understand. 2 is Lamar Jackson. I mean, I get it. MVP should be one of the top spots on the list. And then 1 is Tyreek. Tyreek's a top 5 player for sure, but I'd probably have Mahomes at 1 and Tyreek at 3 or 4. Lamar can stay at 2, whatever. But I don't think he's a better player than Mahomes, and I think especially the playoff shows that. That's not me hating. I don't hate the guy. Just because I don't think he is as great as some people say he is doesn't mean I hate him. You will not find a clip of me saying, I hate Lamar Jackson, so cut that shit out. And that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, for me reacting to the NFL Top 100. Sorry if it kind of wrapped up out of nowhere. That placement just caught me off guard. But if you guys did enjoy this video, you already know what to do to show support. And in the meantime, I'm going to get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. And as always, I will see you in the next video.